and welcome to Jolineknitsalot. This is my show about knitting and crafting and the things I get up to here in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. We had a really lovely September. It was warm, but now that October's come, it's a little cooler and it's definitely sweater weather. And I have finished my Jethro cardigan. I'll pop a couple pictures in here, or here to show you how it turned out. It's a little more fitted than the original pattern, but I really like actually the fit of it on me. My squares were a bit smaller than the pattern recommended. I think for my size, they were supposed to be 5 inches and mine were more like 4.5. So that brought everything in a little bit. But I think that overall the fit's very good. I added a bit more length to the ribbing at the bottom. And I feel like I did a pretty generous ribbing around the neck, but it's really cute, especially with the t-shirt and jeans. So I'm very happy with it. Yeah, the couple of modifications I made were to add extra ribbing. And I think that my sleeves are a little bit longer to compensate for the fact that my body isn't quite as wide as recommended in the pattern. But I think that it's a nice fit. I haven't added buttons yet. I did definitely do buttonholes. I did 2 stitch buttonholes and they are on the right side. I did like 7 of them, which is a lot. The first one is right here, right above my bust. So it could be that I do add the buttons, but I don't know if I'm gonna wear this sweater buttoned or just open. So for right now, there's no buttons, but there may be buttons in the future. I used Polka Dot Creek and their DK yarn. I bought a bunch of minis at Knit City, Calgary, which was perfect for these colors. And I bought 3 20-gram minis for each of the colors, and I used almost all of it. Most of them I had maybe 3 grams left. I think the one that had the most left was maybe 5 grams. So I used a lot of these minis for my size, which was the 49 inch, but again, mine ended up a little bit smaller. And I used all but 16 grams of my main color yarn. I bought 3 of their full skeins of DK. So this sweater did use up a lot of yarn. Crochet, as you may or may not know, does use up a lot of yarn. And all of this edging, plus the ribbings and the sleeves, really did use up a lot of my yarn. And I was a little worried that I wouldn't have enough, but I did. 16 grams left over to be exact. So this is my Jethro cardigan. It's a pattern by Tanis Lavallee of Tanis Fiber Arts. And the yarn again I used is Polka Dot Creek. I would check them out if you're thinking about making this sweater and you're looking to purchase yarn, because they've got 20-gram minis of DKs. And you can buy all sorts of colors. I used 5, but you could use as many as you wanted, and you could buy all sorts of color combinations. So if you're looking for some DK minis and you don't have stash that you want to use, or you want to add to the stash that you have, I would check out their yarn for sure. I have been nursing a bit of a cold this week, and I've been trying to be good and stay home and not get anybody else sick, but I may sound a little bit stuffy, and that's why. The other thing that I finished in the last couple of weeks is a pair of DK socks. I cast these on. I think I was looking for something to knit while my kid was playing volleyball. I find that knitting while I watch any sports really helps with like the stress. I do tend to get quite caught up and excited at sporting events, particularly when my kid's involved. So knitting helps me be a little less emotional, and it's probably good for her to see her mom being calm instead of being like a screaming mess in the stands. So I knit a lot of socks. And these ones I finished are some lovely DK socks. The yarn I used is some Ginger Snap DK. I got her yarn at Calgary Knit City. I'm quite proud of myself for using up my Knit City yarns in a reasonably timely manner. So this is some DK from Ginger Snaps. It is, I think, a 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. If it's not, I'll correct myself here. I used, well, I didn't really use a pattern. I knit my DK socks on 3.25 millimeter needles, and for my size, I used 48 stitches. So really these went very fast. And yeah, I do have a bit left over. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that little bit of DK. It could be that I collect all my little DK scraps and make some scrappy striped socks. I'm not sure. I'll let you know. But these ones are off the needles, and I think I'm going to keep them. I like to wear really warm socks when I go to sleep at night because I can't sleep if my feet are cold. And eventually, at some point in the night, I take them off. I don't even know if I'm awake when I take them off. But having really cozy socks is something that helps me get through winters. So these will probably go right into my sock drawer for really cool nights. And that is all the finished objects I have off my needles. I've been working here and there on my Frame Your Face Cowl, which is a pattern by Andrea Mowry. And it's been going, but a little bit slowly. And I think it's just because with this type of all over color work, I really do need to be paying attention to what I'm doing. And I have made some mistakes and had to think back. So I have been putting some time in, but it's going slowly, and not because it's a difficult knit, but more because I haven't been able to give it as much attention as I would like. This isn't something that I can knit while I'm watching sports for sure. And given the fact that I had a cold this last week, it wasn't something that I was sort of in a headspace to work on. But I did make some progress. And this is a pattern that always looks better from further away for me. When I'm working on it and it's close up, I find that it's a little bit difficult to see the pattern, but when I hold it back, and especially if I put it on camera, it's easier to see this like square pattern that's going on. So this is a very like quilter inspired pattern, and I'm using 2 yarns from my stash. I'm using, the main color is this gray. It's a yarn by Durham Natura Ulysse, and I have used this a lot. It's a sports weight. And this pattern, the Frame Your Face Cowl, is written for both sport and worsted weight. So really you could knit this in whatever size you like. And this granite color is one that I used for my midsummer tea, which maybe I'll pop a picture in here. And I did have some left over, so this is perfect for this project. And then my contrast color is some hand spun that I picked up, I'm pretty sure at a Prairie Fiber Festival, I want to say last year. It's hand spun by Nomad Fiberworks, I believe. If I'm wrong, I will put a picture here. Actually, I should have the tag. I think I did this last time. You think I'd remember? Yes, Nomad Fiberworks. I'm pretty confident I showed you this last time. This is a 2-ply hand spun that she made. The color is called Hot Mess. Perfect, especially as I'm dealing with a cold. And it is a sports weight. I should have lots for this project. And I kind of like how it's been variegating between light, almost white, and then some really deep pinks and definitely some yellows. And you can see that in the project. Oops. And that's part of the fun of using these kinds of yarns, is watching the colors change as you knit. This is going to be a cozy cowl. I'm sort of looking forward to being able to wear it. And we're getting to the point where knitted accessories are going to be necessary to stay warm, especially when I'm walking the dog. So this one I've already done, I think, 4 repeats. I put a little stitch marker here to tell me. So this was 3, and this I've done 4 and a bit. And I think I have to do 7 before I seam it together. So it is coming along, but again, it's something that I really need to have the brain space to work on. And so it doesn't always get as much work as some of my other more basic projects. Do you find that there's sort of like times when you want to work on something that's a bit more complicated, like maybe all over color work, but sometimes you just really crave some nice simple stockinette? I know I do. And I'm kind of in a stockinette phase right now, which I'll talk about in my next projects. But I did cast on another project. This is in my ongoing love of Summer Lee. her October Colorwork Cuff Club patterns came out, and there's 2 again for October. Not every month has 2, but August did and October does. And so I don't know if I'm going to knit them both, but this one was too cute to not knit. So it's some cute little ghosts. And actually from further away, they do look more ghost-like. From close up, I kind of think they look like a really sad dog without like any ears, just the face, kind of a long face. But anyway, so this is the Colorwork Cuff Club for October from Summerlee. It's a pattern, that sort of pattern subscription that you can purchase. It was $12 in August, I think 12 American dollars. I think it's maybe gone up a little bit since the end of August, but you get a new cuff pattern every month. Some months have 2, like August did and October does. And you'll get 1 cuff a month for a year. And there's a basic sock pattern, so you just insert your cuff pattern into the already basic sock pattern that you have. And if there's any modifications that you need to make, like stitch counts, Summerlee tells you all about those when you get your monthly cuff. So this is the October ones, and I thought they were very cute. I'm actually using basically the same colors that Summer did because I had them in stash, and I thought, why not? So really cute ghost socks, and I jumped on them because I thought if I knit these up, I can wear them in October before Halloween. So I'm using some Knit Pick Stroll, and I'm using the same color that Summer did. This is Dogwood Heather. I had some West Yorkshire Spinners in the Marshmallow colorway for the white, and the black is a Knit Pick Stroll Glimmer. So it's basically Stroll, but with a little bit of sparkly yarn inside, and it's black. Now, what I am noticing is when I'm knitting my color work, I am being a bit loose. And then when I switch back from color work to my regular knitting, you can see it does go in a little bit. I go up a needle size for the color work, and part of that is because stranded color work can pull in because it's got those little strands in the back and they don't tend to stretch. But my strands, here, if I flip this inside out, you can see my strands, tend to be on the looser side. So my stranded colorwork section is quite stretchy. And so I think my ghosts look pretty good. I think I could probably tighten up my colorwork section a little bit, but I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna reserve judgment until I have blocked these socks, because I find blocking really makes a big difference in my stranded colorwork, especially on socks, which are a relatively small circumference. You can see a bit of black in through here in some spots, and that's because I had to catch the black. Otherwise the floats would have been too long. And I wonder if my black yarn is just a bit, like if I had used a thinner black yarn, it wouldn't be quite so obvious. But you know what? It is what it is. Sometimes you can't help that when you're doing stranded knitting. And I will block these and we'll see how they look on the next episode. Hopefully I'm wearing them by then. These have been to a volleyball game already. I was knitting on them last night feverishly. It was a close game and a long one. So again, these are ideal for those types of situations. And this pink color is just so sweet. I really like it. And really, that's all I've been working on lately. Yeah, I'm feeling like with fall, I am craving just some really simple, cozy knits. And I don't know if that's because I've got a cold right now and I'm feeling like I just want to snuggle up under a blanket. But I have pulled out some yarns for some next projects, and I thought I'd share those with you. The first one was from my October sock club. Again, this is just a monthly club that I did for myself. I had my daughter, who has really lovely penmanship, write the names of months on a bunch of paper bags, and then I just pulled sock yarn from my stash and put a skein in every month. And so every month I pull down a bag, and I'm surprised because I've completely forgotten what I put in there. This year I've been knitting a lot of sport weight socks, and they've been really nice to wear now that it's fall. My sport weight sock yarn has been coming from Knitspin Farm, and this one is called Autumnal Senescence. It's It's not a word I'm familiar with, but the color description says alternating thick and medium stripes in sweet gum, purple, maple, which is orange, oak, brown, crabapple, lingering green, and hackberry. So these will be my October socks, and I think they're perfect for October. So again, once I finish my little ghosty socks, I will cast these on for some nice autumnal socks. And I think I can wear these right until, well, I can wear these whenever I want, really. But these will be perfect autumn knitting. So I'm looking forward to casting those on. And these ones, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they will be just some plain stockinette socks, which are fine, or if I might do some DRK everyday socks, which are basically just a toe-up ribbed sock, just for some variety. But we'll see. That will be a cast-on decision when I am needing to cast those on. And then the next thing that I sort of have on my horizon, which I've been thinking about for a while, if you remember, I think in August, I did a little video talking about the sweaters I wanted to knit for fall. And I think the Jethro Cardigan was on that list, and I've made it, which is cute, and I can wear it over t-shirts. Perfect, exactly right for this time of year. But the next thing I'm thinking about is a nice cozy, almost sweatshirty kind of sweater. And that will be the Sunset sweatshirt by Jessie May. We'll pop a picture here of the finished object. I got some yarn for this project when these patterns came out. It is the yarn actually called for in the pattern. And the reason I got this yarn, well, one of the reasons I got this yarn was because I wanted to play with it a little bit. And I had made a shop sample for the Farmer's Daughter Fibers earlier in the year. It was a beautiful cowl, the Hojo cowl, which came out in the same collection as the Sunset sweatshirt. And it was meant to be used for this yarn. So I got to play with it a little bit in a colorwork perspective. And because I did that shop sample knit for the Farmer's Daughter, they repaid me with a shop gift card. And so I saved it and I used it to purchase a sweater quantity for this Sunset sweatshirt. So I bought 5 skeins of this. It is the Farmer's Daughter collaboration with Spin Cycle Yarns, and it's called the Spinster's Daughter. Oh, can we see that? The Spinster's Daughter is the same base as Dream State, which is a beautiful spun yarn by Spin Cycle Yarns, and it is dyed by Farmer's Daughter. And I got this beautiful burgundy. The color's called Namu, Nammo, and I got 5 skeins. And I think it'll be a really cozy fall sweatshirt, and I think it'll be a beautiful color to be wearing in fall and winter. I've been craving a little bit of burgundy in my wardrobe, so I think that this will be lovely. I'm looking forward to winding this up and casting it on. Again, it's going to be quite a relaxing knit. It's mostly stockinette, so it's not too pattern heavy. There will be increases and decreases like in any other pattern, but a lot of stockinette, which I think I'm sort of craving right now. And maybe that's why I'm thinking those socks can be ribbing, just to add a bit of variety in my life. Do you have fall sweater patterns that you've been craving? Or do you knit certain things at certain times of the year? I found that often after Christmas, I want to knit cables, and I'm not sure what that's all about. And then sometimes there's a time in the year when I'm interested in knitting brioche. And sometimes I just want some simple stockinette. So right now, I guess that's the phase that I'm in. I'm looking forward to having some spooky socks for Halloween, or just to wear throughout October and really whenever. So these socks, I think, will get a lot of wear. They're so sweet. And that's sort of all I have on my needles right now. I think I'm feeling a little bit, I guess lacking motivation is not the word, because I do want to craft, but I want my crafts to be comforting. And I think part of that is because the cooler weather is coming, and also I'm still nursing this cold. So I think part of that is making me want to just knit something simple and comforting. So that's what I'm going to do. I hope in the next couple of weeks you find time to do things you like to do. I know I plan on knitting a lot. I will see you soon. Take care.